This webinar is focused on multi-results inspections in Geomagic Control X. I appreciate you joining us today, and I hope you'll be able to join us again on future Product Spotlight webinars as well. Once again, thank you for joining us today, and now I will pass it on to Tobias Klein, our Geomagic Support Specialist, as he's leading today's demonstration. Tobias, it's all yours.
Thanks, Ralph, and hello everybody. Today we want to have a closer look at the multi-result inspection tools inside Control X, which enables users to compare results of different scenarios around the same part. This multi-results concept can be used to inspect different produced parts against the same design part, for example to visualize results of different cavities of one die, or compare different manufacturing methods or chart a trend over a period of time. It can also be used to analyze the same produced part against different design models, for example, to analyze the part against the manufacturing tolerances and at the same time against the functional tolerances of a use case situation. The Result Navigator in its reportable views offer a good way to communicate errors in side-by-side comparison, as well as easily check the suitability of different alignments for a specific inspection purpose. It allows side-by-side comparison of a set of parts, as well as the analysis of GD&T changes. So let's have a closer look at how to inspect a part in different scenarios side-by-side in today's live demonstration. And here we are inside Control X with a typical basic inspection scenario. In this case, we have our valve housing. We have the CAD model here. That's the CAD model, and we have our scan data here. And we have our 3D compare here, which is basically a color map of the deviation analysis. And we have an alignment defined, which is an initial alignment and a basic best fit alignment of the whole part. So if this is a series inspection and we want to inspect multiple parts and each part gets a report output, and then we can delete the part data again to save disk space and archive the inspection scenario, then we can use replace measure data. So it's basically deleting the scan data set and replacing it with a new set of scan data. However, if we are just building up this inspection scenario, or we want to compare different alignments or different parts, then we can duplicate this result data by right-clicking on result data and duplicating it. And then we can replace the measured data of the second result. So in this case, I'm loading the new data set, and it is asking me whether I want to replace one or both, because they're just using the same data, and now I want to replace only the second one. And now it's recalculating the complete inspection scenario, including the alignment and the deviation color mapping. So that's basically the result 2. And now we can go into the Tools ribbon and open the Result Navigator. And in the Result Navigator, we get this side-by-side comparison. So on the left side, we can choose Result Data 1, and on the right side, we can choose Result Data 2. And we can see already two different views. And here, this is the linkage between the left and the right side, so we can activate, or by default it's activated, we can deactivate if we want. And here we can choose what we want to see. It's the current visibility, or only the reference data, or only the measured data, or the 3D compare. To get that view into the report, we need a reportable entity. We can create that by right-clicking on Custom Views and add a viewpoint while the Result Navigator is open. So click on Activate Add Viewpoint. So we have a custom view here. And this custom view can be just added to the report manager. If we already have an existing report, we can just add it. It appears under Result Navigator branch, and we can just click on here and just drag and drop it over That is one way, or we can go to generate report and generate a new one. Go into the result selection and select our result navigator here, and then activate this for reporting. Okay, so let's get back to the model view of the result data 2. Let's add a dimension, for example, a linear dimension to, let's say, this center cylinder and to this side flange. And now we have a value here, and now we want to check with this part whether another alignment will result in a better fitting of this dimension. So what we can do is, again, we can duplicate the result, and it is now duplicating the result including this newly added dimension, which appears here in the group 1. And here we can add another alignment. Again, I'm using the best fit alignment, but this time with select data only. So I can select the base and the cylinder and an average between those planes. So after selecting those faces, it will recalculate and will ask whether it should recalculate all the other values as well. So since that is done, we can again go into the result navigator. And of course, on the left side, we select our first, and on the right side, our second view, which we need for that. And here we can see the deviation, the difference of the deviation. Again, here we can add a custom view. The title of this is always according to what we set up here in these views. And a third method is to generate a new view. Like we go back into the input folder, and we choose, at the moment we have this CAD data, which has the origin here. And we want to check the position of that cylinder against, not against this origin, but against another origin. So for that, I transform the CAD data so that the origin is in the center. This can be done using CAD and then transform body, creating a duplicate, or just re-importing the CAD data as a new file. In this case, I re-imported the CAD data as a new file, and now we can create a cylinder in our result data 3, for example. We can create a cylinder feature, and this cylinder will give the position in relation to that origin. So we have along the z-axis, we have a minus 50.9 something. Now I can also create a new result. This will be an empty result. I could copy it from another result, but in this case I want to create an empty result. And I can go into the input data folder and send my second set of CAD data to my new result. Also, I can set my mesh, which I used, to the new result. So I have my result 4, and I'm applying the same alignment now, which is the best fit alignment. And again, the other best fit alignment using only select entities. This one, and this one. And I can add the position of this cylinder. So now I have the z-axis pointing upward, and this is another value. So to compare that, I can go into the result navigator and again select my first and second view. Of course, they are now linked, and I can uncheck this linkage to move them as I need it. And here I can say I want to have the group 1, for example, or the current visibility. I can, for example, disable in result data 3, disable this view, group 1, and color map to have the same view. And now I have those two cylinders in different coordinate systems. Okay, and that concludes the demo for today.
And this brings us to the end of our Geomagic Control X product spotlight webinar, which walks you through the multi-results inspection in Geomagic Control X. You learned about how it can be used for communicating errors, for illustrating alignment fittings, comparing a set of parts, and analyzing GD&T changes. Please be on the lookout for invitations to future product spotlight webinars. Thank you again for joining us, and have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.